Education Minister Stephen Lecce is expected to speak for the first time since the Safe Return to School plan was released yesterday. We're taking you to a live look now at Queen's Park. His office tells City News an additional $25 million is set to be announced for better ventilation in schools. No word yet when this announcement will happen, but stay with BT for the latest. Well, does the province's return to school plan document get the seal of approval from the experts? For reaction, we join Sam Andrey. He's a director of policy and research at Ryerson Leadership Lab. Good morning to you, Sam.
Morning.
I wanted to ask you first. So we talked a little bit earlier in the show about some of these public health measures and the plan. They include masking, the return of extracurricular activities, but some parents and some critics say this is pretty much the same plan we had last year, and they're questioning what's changed. So you've gone over the plan. So what are your thoughts first?
Yeah, so thanks for having me. I think parents and teachers and everyone that I'm speaking to are pretty underwhelmed after waiting so long that this is the plan that we've got, a month before school starts. The pandemic's, created unprecedented challenges for learning and families. And, the province didn't make the adequate investments last year to keep schools safely open with the largest disruption in Canada. And I fear we're repeating the same mistakes. I will say, on the positive side, I think, the ventilation standards announced yesterday and the continued masking, those things are good. But I think it leaves a lot of questions left unanswered, for sure.
And you mentioned ventilation there. We know that Education Minister Stephen Lecce expected to make an announcement. Part of that will be about ventilation in schools. Let's talk a little bit about some of the concerns that some people have highlighted. No mention of cohorts as well as vaccine mandates. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I was really surprised at the lack of any effort about, reducing class sizes. We've had so long to prepare. I feel like at this point we could have been reducing class sizes, hiring more teachers. I think, health leaders are saying that it's time for mandatory vaccines for frontline workers. I think that should include education and school staff. Also, the plan had no plan for testing, on-site asymptomatic testing at this point, outbreak management and trying to find cases before they result in outbreaks in our schools, I think could have been scaled up significantly. And so to not even really have any plan for testing was a surprise.
I have to ask you about a comment Dr. Kieran Moore made yesterday where he said that he really can't envision or see any closure of any schools. I felt that was a bold statement. What about for yourself, hearing him say that?
I mean, it's in some ways comforting that he's so confident, but I think, many are not so confident, as you say. I think, people are looking around the world, the UK, the US, Israel, who, in some ways are ahead of us and are seeing a fourth wave. And so I think, Ontarians would be more comforted that here is the fourth wave plan. If we are so unlucky to go into it, here's how we'll deal with outbreaks. Here's the thresholds in which we'll shut down, and use it as a kind of tool to motivate, Ontarians to go get vaccinated and prevent this fourth wave that we all want to avoid. So, as I say, hopefully he's right, but there's so many unknowns. We've been surprised by this virus so many times before that I think it's asking a lot for everyone just to hope for the best. Okay,
Sam Andrey, Director of Policy and Research at Ryerson Leadership Lab. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, time now 7:11 a.m. Mel and Sid, over to you.